Hi everybody, how's everybody doing? I hope you're having a good day. For me, I'm having a wonderful day today. It's been rainy here. Let me get this camera up, situated here. It's been rainy, and so, whoops, I got my coffee. Hang on a minute. Okay, if you've watched me for a while, you know I don't edit. And I wanted to come on and do a Q&A. Now, I don't have the questions right in front of me because I couldn't find them all because people have left them on so many different videos that I couldn't find them all. I didn't have time to go through all of them. But I'll start out with one that was asked, well, the first one that I remember. And someone asked me what kind of work I did that I had to travel so far away from home. I have been in the medical field for over 20 years as a CNA in the beginning in a nursing home in my early 30s. It's probably been longer than 20 years then. Over 20 years, I said. But as a CNA, and I loved that job, and I got my back hurt and had to go out. I worked in that quite a while. Then I went into, which was Mary Ellen after 60 had asked me what I would do, what my dream job, or what I thought, what I wanted to be when I was a child, what my dream career was. I think that's how she put it. But anyway, the gist of it was, what did I dream of doing as a child? It was always makeup and hair. Makeup, so my mom didn't even buy me a regular Barbie doll like she did my sisters. She bought me a Mary makeup doll. All I ever did is mess with hair and makeup. I mean, from the time I was very young. I cut my own bangs. I'll show you pictures someday. I have to get them out. But I used to cut my own bangs, and Mom would have a fit, but what could she do? It was already done. I had already cut them, and I would cut them up in here, and sometimes they'd be crooked, and yeah. And I always could not wait to get my grandmother's used makeup that she would purchase more, and she'd save me just a little bit in the compact or lipstick container. And so, yeah, it's always been makeup, hair, and all that. So when I went into the nursing, that was a fluke. I mean, I needed a job, and my niece at the time, bless her heart, she's gone now, but she said, why don't you come down here and work? We have a blast, and you learn so much, and you know, now that I'm older, I know, if you're a young person and you're watching me, learn all you can from elderly people, because they're a wealth of knowledge. Take to heart what they tell you, because they have lived a long life, a lot of years, more than we have. And me at that time in my late 20s, early 30s, I hadn't lived that long. So an 80-year-old person can tell you the key to life. If you read your Bible and go by what your Bible tells you, that's what I got my grandson, my oldest grandson, for graduation. And that's what each one of my grandchildren will get for graduation, because everything you need to know about life and how to live it, and live it abundantly, is in that book, is in the Bible. So, and go to an elderly person if you need knowledge, go to them, because see, they've lived a lot of life and they know. So I went into being a CNA. They call them RNAs now, registered nursing assistants, and got out of that. And the whole time I went to school to be a CNA, I was working, and my instructor kept telling me, you need to go on and further your education as a nurse. You need to be a nurse. You need to be a, go to LPN school, then go to RN school. You're going to make a fabulous nurse, because I care about people. I treat people the way I want them to treat me. I treat that person, that elderly person, the way that I would want someone to treat me when I'm that age. And if we remember that always, then we'll be better off. We'll be better people. Because I thought, someday when I'm with an elderly person, I think to myself, someday I'm going to be there. How do I want to be treated? With love, kindness, respect, and dignity. And if you can do those 4 things, you'll be a wonderful person. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect or that I'm a wonderful person. I'm just saying this is how I've based my life on telling the truth, being honest. If you are not wealthy, then your name's all you have. And integrity is the name. Or the name is, integrity is in the name. Then you're wealthy, you're rich. Because you have so much respect from other people. And respect is not something that is, it's not, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but respect is earned. And if you don't give that, then you're not going to get that. So let me move on with the questions. I always wanted to be a cosmetologist. I got into nursing. When I got my back hurt, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to school to be a cosmetologist. So I went to school in the state of West Virginia, you have to have 2,000 hours. And the cheapest place for me to go was a vocational school. And I went to school with high school girls. And was that fun? No. High school girls are so childish. Well, they're high school kids. But anyway, I still had fun. But there was a few problems here and there. But it was a blast. I mean, I went this whole 2 years. And when I got out of nursing school, or beauty school, every day we would see the nurses, because they had a nursing program there too. And the whole time I was going to school to be a cosmetologist, and I was in the Honor Society, and I was in VICA, and I won gold. I have my gold medals that I won, state and national. We went to Kansas City, Missouri, and competed in competition down there when I was in cosmetology school. I still, every day, I would watch those nurses, and my heart longed to be a nurse. So I went on and finished cosmetology school, because I'm not a quitter in anything that I do. I went on to cosmetology school. I got my license. I never practiced. I got another job in the medical, in medical industry or medical field. So I went and done that for a little while, and then I was out again, and then I went and was a telemarketer, and I never did go to, still at this point hadn't went to, only thing I had was my license to be a CNA, and I went to I went and was a telemarketer for 5 years. I was fired from that job because we had a CEO that was a child himself, And he wanted to play a prank on me because they never seen me angry. And they was trying to, he said, I've never seen Susie mad. I've never seen her get upset. She's easygoing. I was told this later. And so they pretended they were going to fire me. They didn't know that I was just going to cry and sign the paper and walk out. They thought that they could make me angry and I would fight and fuss with them, but I was so upset I didn't know what I'd done. So they had fired me, and so that was God's plan, I think. And I didn't get upset. I just left crying. I cried all the way home. And I prayed, and I had my sister-in-law pray, and I just prayed and prayed that I would get a better job. Because, you know, when one door closes, another one, better one opens. So God put me in a position where I was still in a medical facility. I went in as a housekeeper, and I really enjoyed that job. I loved it. And then I moved up from housekeeping. I got my foot in the door, worked in housekeeping, moved up from housekeeping into the business office, and I did medical billing. That job I worked for almost 9 years, and the clinic closed, and there I was on unemployment again. But during the time that I was worked at that clinic, everyone encouraged me because they seen that I was a caring person, and I always talked about loving to take care of people, and I have a nurturing personality. So they encouraged me to go to LPN school. So I went and took the test. I got into school. I took 9 months of LPN school and got to 3 months before graduation and took my final exam on pediatrics and missed it by a half a point. I failed it. And our program that we have in our area is so grueling that if you don't get a 100%, or not a 100%, but a high enough, you don't get any second chances. If you don't pass that final exam for that, for pediatrics, you have different sections. You're out. You don't get to take it again. I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. Now, could I go back the next year and take it, what I failed and on? Yes, I could. But it wasn't I was available to do that, but it wasn't God's plan. It wasn't God's plan for me, because I went back and I went 2 days and then was unable to go anymore. So I was out of the program again, and I just never have looked back. So I got a job in a hospital as an RNA, which is a registered nursing assistant. That's when my son became ill and he died. Well, the RNAs in the hospital is the ones that take care of the dead, prepare the body for the funeral home to pick up, and you take care of the sick, which I love taking care of the sick. But once my son died, it was just so hard for me to do that on a daily basis. It was just, I was having really bad anxiety attacks. I was really, really sick all the time. And here I was going to the hospital to work, and I was staying sick. Let's just put it that way. If anybody knows what anxiety does to you and things, then they know what I'm talking about. So my job now when I left the hospital, I already had another job, and that was with an elderly woman that was 90 or 89, 97. She was 97 years old. No. 87 years old. She's 95 now. And been with her for 6 years. That was right after my son. And that was kind of good for me in the beginning after my son died, because then I kind of locked myself away. I, locked myself away to where I didn't have to deal with people. I love people, but I just didn't want to deal with everyone coming up to me and saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And it's not their fault how I feel. I mean, what could they say? What can you say? There's nothing you can say except for, "I'll pray for you," or, and if you're not a praying person, then I'm sorry, my condolences. But that, and every time I would see someone and they would say that, then it would bring all those emotions, and I just kept a lump in my throat. So I locked myself away, and then I started, I was away from my family, because I was gone 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. I'd leave on Sunday, don't come home till Friday. And that was my job. That was so hard. And it was easy on me in the beginning, but it started getting harder and harder and harder, because my little lady has dementia. And I think a touch of Alzheimer's along with that. And it just became unbearable to me. And I needed help. The family didn't want to get help. And so that's what caused my illness, this illness that I've been battling. I've been battling very bad anxiety attacks, to the point where it was making me ill. So needless to say, I'm unemployed now because I had to quit that job. I drooled and I cried, and me and my husband talked, and what are we going to do, because I pay our house payment, and I just can't do it anymore. So we're just going to have to trust that God will take care of us like we always have, and He'll take care of us. Not a dime coming in now, because I quit on the 27th, and so that was my job. And now I'm looking for a job. So I'm unemployed. God will put me where He wants me. So you all be in agreement with me that God will give me the opportunity that He wants me to have. I was so happy at the clinic that I worked at, because there was so many Christian women, and I just loved it there. I was so happy there, but that was where God wanted me for a while. And now he changed it up a little bit. Someone asked me, that was a long answer to the question, but someone asked me what would I tell my 21-year-old self now? By the time I was 21 years old, I had 2 children. I had been married. I'd been married 5 years, 6 years. So I think I would rather go back and tell my 15-year-old, because I got married at 15, my 15-year-old self, how stupid she is for not finishing high school. I have my GED. I got my GED later on. But I would tell myself. But I have a lot of life lessons to teach other people, and to tell my daughters. I was able to give them my take on life at 15, getting married at 15 and having a baby and all that. So hoping that they make better choices than I did. But kids always have to make their own choices. They're always going to, no matter what old mom says. Old at the time, they thought I was old at the time, but I can't remember any other questions. If I didn't remember anything, then ask it again, and in another video I'll let you know. I hope y'all are having a good start to your week. I'm having a pretty good start. I didn't get to go to my doctor's appointment, I will tell you that, but I did get my x-rays that they took of my bowel. I had a hernia repair 3-4 years ago, and they used mesh, and I've had a lot of pain in that area ever since. And I thought that was what was making me sick so much, is that hernia repair. I always had, pain there, and then all of a sudden I started getting sicker and sicker and sicker. Well, I did have a doctor's appointment today with my general physician, the one that I always see. It's not a specialist, but he did tell me that the x-rays showed nothing to worry about. Thank you, Jesus. And so I just need rest. I need to get my life back on track with being with my family. I need to get my home back in order. As far as my husband bacheled, he was a bachelor for 6 years. So everything is so unorganized and so out of place. My kitchen's unorganized, everything's, so I need to do all that. And I'm on the mend, and you all have been helping me so much. You give me encouragement, you build me up, you make me confident in myself, and I just love you for that. I love every one of you. And I wanted to say thank you to Little Poet, Susan. You are just such a wonderful person to give me a shout out like you did, and I cried the whole time I was watching it, and I ran and showed my husband, and I'm very humbled. I really am. Very humbled that I have such wonderful people that love me. And a lot of people will ask, how can you say that people love you that's never met you? A heart doesn't have to meet another heart. They just know. So thank you guys. I love you. Don't forget, share me around. Stick your thumb up in the air, because I want to travel. And unless you share me around, I'm not going to be able to. So you all keep me in your prayers. I'll keep